So, my dumbass thought that June 30th was tomorrow. And then I opened my calendar, and it's today. This video was supposed to come out June 30th, which I thought was tomorrow, but it's today. Which means now I have to edit this video and get it out before midnight. Not only is this video about to be late, but it's about to not come out at fucking all. Because, oh my god. So my fan, my desk fan, which I used to stay cool while shooting these videos in this freaking heat wave. So, it caused the camera to shake, which I didn't know. So the whole time, this whole video is shaking. It's literally like this the whole time. I'm not reshooting this video. If I can't stabilize this shit so it's not shaking anymore, it's not coming out. Plain and simple. Because I'm not reshooting this video. No. it's not happening. Hello YouTube. I have made an executive decision. Instead of letting this story go unheard, I decided to just do it the same way that I do the episodes of Double Dose for YouTube, and just have the audio instead of showing the video, because the video is too shaky. Like, there's no fixing that. So instead of just not releasing the video at all, because I have been promising this video all month, I'm just gonna have the audio play so you can still hear the story. You just won't see my face, you know? It's not that big of a deal. It's not much to see here anyway. So, yeah.
Hello, it is me, Dionté, also known as QuingDee, and welcome to another video here on my channel. I just realized my channel don't have a name. It's just me. Oh, that's a little disappointing. Well, even though my channel doesn't have a name, still, this is the Queendom. Unofficially, my channel is unofficially known from here on out as the Queendom. No, that's not. I say that at the end of like every video. Welcome to the Queendom. But I feel like it's common knowledge. Anyway, we gonna get into the video. I've been teasing this video like literally all month. And it's finally getting recorded the day before it's supposed to come out. Sorry. Yeah, all the previous days that I planned to record it was like thunderstorming, so I couldn't get any good lighting. And then now it's a heat wave and it's really hot, so you might hear the fan a little bit in the background. I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm recording any videos without any fan in a heat wave, okay? And the fan kind of blocks out the background noise from outside. So I'd rather you guys hear the humming of the fan than all the noise going on outside, okay? All right. But yeah, this is a Kiki short. That's what I'm going to refer to these as, Kiki shorts. Because let me tell you how is a segment usually featured on Kiki, but as you can see, this isn't a full-on episode of Kiki. This is just a let me tell you how episode. I believe I've done a episode like this in the past. I know I did it for Screen Queen. Yeah. I don't know if I did I did do a let me tell you how. It was my first time getting high. That's what I did. So this is another one for Pride Month. Yeah. But this is going to be my coming out story. More specifically, how I came out to my mother. Yeah, because the rest of them don't really count. I'll talk about it anyway, but it don't really matter. But anyway, let's get into the actual story. Okay. So first, I'm going to start from the beginning for those of you who may not know me personally, you know, like in person or whatever. But I've known I was gay since kindergarten. Like, I don't know if other people may have known that early in age, but I've known since kindergarten. I will never forget. It was this one child, and this is going to sound so creepy, but there was this one child in my kindergarten class. I remember my teacher name was Miss Lamb, and I don't remember no other kids in that class but this one child. His name was, I don't want to say his name, but I remember what his name was. That goes to show just how, I'm going to move on. Anyway, all through elementary school, there was always the little boys that all the girls had crushes on, but it wasn't just the girls, it was also me. But they didn't know that, but I was also crushing on them too, you know? So I've known since a very young age that I did not like girls. I didn't know what gay was. I didn't know that there was a term for it, but I've known, you know? So as I got older, sure, like, kids would bully me in elementary school for being flamboyant, but you know, that was whatever. I didn't really care about it until I got into middle school, because that was when I kind of learned what gay was. You know, when you're in elementary school, you don't really know that kind of stuff, so it doesn't really bother you. Plus, you're a kid, you know, that stuff doesn't really get to you, or at least it didn't really get to me. It didn't get to me until I got to middle school, and like, I was kind of taught that being gay was a bad thing, so I didn't want people to really know I was gay. But they were already teasing me for, quote unquote, like, acting gay or like supposedly being gay, so I didn't want them to know that I was actually gay. I was like, hell no. So I need to stop hitting myself, because it shows up in the sound, and it's like these huge sound spikes, and it's editing problems. But anyway, in middle school, I would date girls to kind of hide, or try to hide, the fact that I was gay. It didn't really work, because those relationships never lasted more than a week, except for the last one. That one actually lasted about a whole summer. But that was the summer, so it was the summer. So moving on from middle school, going into high school, of course, I still had those fears, you know. I was like, good, I've survived middle school. Now I gotta try to survive 4 years of high school. Great. And of course, my first mission, as soon as I got to high school, was find a secret, like, little girlfriend. I was like, find me someone who I can pass off as a girlfriend, so that, you know, so that people don't think I'm gay. You know, that was my mission freshman year. And I wore like a lot of like really, really boyish clothes, you know, like, oof. When I look at the things I was wearing freshman year, I just gag, because it's like, oh, lordy. Woo. But, you know, the high school that I went to, Kappa, Creative and Performing Arts, here in Philadelphia, that high school, it wasn't like middle school at all. Like, it was like it was way more accepting. It was like everyone was free to be themselves, whether you were weird, despite your sexuality, whatever. It was like everyone was themselves and no one cared. Like, it was like no one cared. So I was like, interesting. So that's when I came out to my closest friends to gauge a reaction. I was like, first, let me see how the people I actually care about are going to react to this news. And when I came out to them, they were like, we already know. And I'm like, okay, well, damn. I'm like, I thought I was letting out some huge secret. And they're like, oh, girl, we already know. I'm like, all right, then. So then sophomore year was when I like officially like came out at school. Keyword at school. Because, like I said, I felt more safe and more free at school, so I didn't care who knew I was gay at school, because it's like I wasn't the only gay kid, there were multiple gay kids, so I was like, stunning. So sophomore year, I got this project, and the project, it was for health class, and our topic was like unhealthy food or something like that, if I remember correctly. I'm doing this whole video off of memory, no script, no nothing like that. And for those of you that know me, y'all know my memory is kind of shot, so bear with me. But it was a health project for health class, and me being a creative person I am, I was like, instead of doing a boring ass PowerPoint presentation like everybody else, why don't we make a music video? I was like, let's do a video. So we did our own little parody to McDonald's. I mean, we did a parody to Problem by Ariana Grande about McDonald's. That was actually my very first YouTube video, and it is, like, if you scroll all the way down on my page, it's the very first video. And I think it's probably my second or third most popular because it's been up there the longest, so it has a lot of views. But it is so cringy. I highly suggest you don't watch it unless you are ready for the cringe factor that is sophomore me. But anyway, we did that, and in the video, like I wanted it to be like funny, you know, and I wasn't much of a director. Like, this was before I officially became a film major. I was still a visual artist at this point, so I wasn't too keen in the whole film stuff, you know. So I was trying, and for the one part, I was like, all right, we gotta have a dance scene, because I always like to dance. Although I was shy, I always like to dance. So I was like, we gotta have like a little dance scene with, you know, you'll be Ariana Grande, and then me and the other girl that was in the group. I was like, we'll be your backup dancers, and it'll be real cute. I came up with some really cute, you know, simple choreography, because them bitches couldn't dance. And I won't say we killed it, but we pulled it off. We went and, because the main girl that was playing Ariana Grande, she already had like her own like regular long hair or whatever. So then I gave the other girl, I gave her a little purple wig or whatever. And then I just wore one of my mom's like old wigs that she had gave to my sister. I was like, they're not going to use this. I'm like, I'm going to snatch this up really quickly, and I'm going to use it for my project. So, oh, and that purple wig was also from my sisters, because they were like Monster High girls or something that year for Halloween, so they weren't using that wig no more, so I took that too. So we got the wigs, we got dressed or whatever, and we went in front of the McDonald's that was right across the street from our school. We went in front of McDonald's, and we did the damn thing. We did our little choreography in front of the window. The McDonald's people was looking at us like we was crazy, and our only excuse was, we go to Kappa. That was our excuse. It was like, oh yeah, we go to that art school across the street. That's why we're doing all this weird shit. So ignore us. But they lived for it, you know? They lived for it. They thought it was cute. So we did that. We finished the video. Well, I edited the video or whatever. We handed it in, and ours was the best project in that damn class. I mean, I'm not saying that because it was my project, but it was the best project. Like I said, everybody else did PowerPoint presentations and shit, like snooze. We did a music video. But although ours was the best, when it came time to present it, I don't know what was going on with the teacher's Wi-Fi or what, the projector or whatever, but it was blurry and pixelated. Like, the whole video, you couldn't really see what was going on. It was way too pixelated to actually watch on a big screen. So that broke my heart a little bit, because I was like, I worked so hard on this video and y'all can't even see it. Like, I was heartbroken. I was like, you know what? I was like, it's okay. I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna post the video on Facebook, and then all of y'all can just see it when I post it on Facebook. And it was like, all right, whatever. And that was that. I mean, it's not like we failed. We didn't fail or anything, because we did the project. The teacher was able to see the video. It's just he couldn't put it on the projector for everybody else to see. So, whatever. But I posted it on Facebook. When I went to school the next day, everybody was living for it. It was like, yes, that was so good. I was like, oh, thank you. I did the whole thing myself. You know, I was living. And, okay. Oh, that's the other thing. So, to this day, the health teacher, he still shows that video to all of his students. Like, whenever he assigns that project, he shows that video to all the students to show them that they don't have to do the standard, like, presentation type project, that they can do something a little outside the box. That's probably why that video has so many views to this day, because of that man. So, props to Mr. Kit. But anyway, moving on. Like I said, I posted the video on Facebook so everyone can see it. But that's where we're gonna get into the next part. So, as it got more traction on Facebook, it was getting a lot of likes, a lot of like comments and stuff, and a lot of comments from like family members, you know, people that I hadn't necessarily told that I was gay. And I wasn't expecting that. Like, I had, like, you know, social media back in the day, you kind of forget who you follow, or like who follows you and stuff like that. Like especially with Facebook, because I didn't really use Facebook all like that. Like at this point, I think Instagram was just now starting to get more popular. So Facebook was kind of obsolete. I just kind of put it on Facebook because I was like, you know, you can post full-on videos on Facebook. You couldn't do that on Instagram at the time. So when so as I'm sitting there minding my business, out of nowhere, my mom comes in and she's like, "So how did the project go?" I'm like, "Oh, it went lovely." I'm like, "You know, everyone loved it. You know, we got an A." Da da da. She's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "So." She's like, "So who is this?" And she was talking about like me or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, that's me." And she's like, "In a wig?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Where did you get the wig from?" I'm like, "You." I'm like, "You didn't give it to me directly, but you gave it to the girls and they weren't using it, so I took it for the project so we get an A." You know, I'm trying to spin this because I know where this is going. So I'm like trying to make her focus on the grade. I'm like, "It's for the A." And she's like, "Okay, but why did you have to wear it though?" She's like, "Why?" She was like, "You couldn't find no girl to wear it." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Well, there's only 4 people in the group. Myself, the cameraman, and the 2 girls." And I'm like, "You can't just have one backup dancer." So I had to do something, you know. I was like, that's why I filled in as the second backup dancer. And she's like, "But did you have to wear the wig though?" And I'm like, well, when you look at, you know, pop stars and their backup dancers, it's usually either they have their guys or they have their girls. And I was like, it would have looked weird for it to just be like this girl in her wig and then like this guy. Like, I was like, in my head, I was like, that would have looked weird. So I was like, yeah, I put on the wig so that, you know, it would look right. And she went on this whole tangent. She was like, "Oh, don't know real dude wear wigs, da 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 da." She was like, "If you gay, just tell me, da 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 da." And in my head, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, wait, how did you find this video anyway? Because I'm like, I was like, I never showed her the video. I was like, I didn't show it to her. So I'm like, how did you find this video? And my mom wasn't friends with me on Facebook at that time because she had this rule. She still has this rule where she will not friend any children. Meaning if you are under the age of 18, you are not friends with her on Facebook. So I was like, I know she couldn't have seen it when I posted it because we're not friends. So I was like, how the hell did she see this video? Meanwhile, she's sitting there going on this tangent. And then that's when she finally said, she was like, "Yeah, now I'm getting all these messages from your aunt and your godmom asking me, oh, did you see Dionté's video, da 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 da." And I'm like, oh God, these nosy ass. I'm like, of course. I'm like, of course. Because, you know, family, especially black family, they talk. And I should have known eventually that it was going to get back to my mother in some way, shape, or form. I should have seen it coming. But that's what happened. They ratted me out. They sent her the video, and then that's how she ended up seeing it. So that's when she's all like, "Oh, you should be able to trust me. I should be able to trust you. I shouldn't have to go on the internet and see my son in a wig prancing around, da 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 da." And she the whole time she just kept saying like, "If you're gay, just say you're gay, da da da." And I was like, all right, I am. Because at this point, I'm tired of hearing her rant. I'm like, look, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was minding my own business. So I'm like, I want to go back to minding my own business. So I was like, okay, I am. And she was like, like her face was like, oh my God. Like she like once I said this, she's like, oh my God, oh Lord, oh, she's all over the wall. She's like somebody just slapped her across the face. She's like, oh my God. Like, it was the most dramatic thing ever. Like, I wish I had pulled out like my iPod and recorded it because it was too funny. And the whole time she's like, oh my God, I done failed my son. Oh, I'm going to hell. Oh, this is all my fault. Oh, da 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 da. And I'm like, it is not that serious. I'm like, it's not that serious. So once she got done going through the motions, she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what gay is. Like, Yes. And she's like, don't worry, this is just a phase. You'll grow out of it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, if I was gonna grow out of it, I would have grown out of it by now. And she's like, what you mean? I'm like, well, I've known since like elementary school. Like I've known for years now. And she's like, why you ain't never tell me? Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, because you always say that it's a sin and that I'm gonna go to hell and da-da-da-da. So yeah. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God. Da-da-da-da-da. She's like, oh my God. And like, long story short, by the end of her going through the motions, she's like, look, I love you, da-da-da. Like, I don't care. You're still my son. You know, that whole mushy stuff. And she's like, as long as you just keep that, like, you know, to yourself, you know, don't like tell your siblings or whatever, because she didn't want my siblings to be influenced by my sexuality. You know, it was like, because they were still young. This was years ago. They were still young. This is like 2013, 2014. And my youngest brother, he was like a baby. Because he was born in 2011. This is 2015. He was only like 2 or 3. So he was still little. So she didn't want me to tell them or let them know anything about it. She didn't want them to see me in no wig or nothing like that. She didn't want nothing of the sorts. Because she didn't want me to influence them. And then they be coming out talking about something they're gay and all this type of stuff. So I was like, okay. Okay, whatever. So for years, I wasn't close to them all like that. Because I didn't want them to ask questions. I didn't want them to start asking questions that I knew I couldn't answer. Because if it was up to me, I'd be like, yeah. But I knew that she said not to do that, and I'm trying to respect my mom's wishes, so I would just kind of ignore the question and keep it pushing. So, you know, and as they got older, and they started learning about different sexualities and stuff, of course they started asking questions. So that was just kind of how I had to deal with that. I kind of had to distance myself a little bit. And then my mom would get mad that I was distancing myself, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm like, you brought this upon yourself, like, you know. But now, I mean, like once they started getting older, once they started getting social media, they started, like, at first I would, like, block them on social media because I was like, they can't follow me because then they would know. I was like, because I don't hide my sexuality on social media. Like, I'm too grown for that. So I was like, they can't follow me or else they would know, and then my mom's gonna get mad. But then after a while, I was like, you know what, whatever. And I unblocked them. I let them follow me. I let their little friends follow me. I was like, I don't care anymore. Because I'm like, they're old enough. I'm like, I'm not directly telling them. I'm like, they're seeing for themselves. So technically, I'm not breaking any rules, you know? So, yeah. That's how that all went down. That's how I accidentally came out to my mother, all thanks to Facebook. Well, thanks to being friends with family on Facebook. Yeah. But that concludes this Let Me Tell You How video. Also, my final Pride-themed video for Pride Month. This is coming out June 30th, you know, the last day of Pride Month. Yes, I was supposed to have ended this video and it's just now coming out and I'm so sorry. But life goes on. Like, I don't be having time all like that. Like, this stuff is, especially in the heat and stuff like this, this is a lot. This is a lot. But thank you all for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and share this with all of your friends and family. Although I might have made the mistake of accidentally showing this to my family, hopefully you can share this with your family and good things will come from it. I know it'll come from me because I'll get the views. So, thank you for watching. If you are a new subscriber, well then, welcome to the QuingDee.